All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. For today's video, we are back to provide with yet another monthly report in regards to the results and performance from our trade alerts and signals provided within our VIP. These are trade alerts that I personally analyze and provide to the community, allowing members to follow, copy, and profit from our trades. Now, if you're familiar with any of our previous updates, we're going to provide you with the total tally of all the trades we called out for the month, our wins, our losses, breaking them down a week by week, and also provide you with the win rates on a weekly and monthly basis. But to take it a step further, in the spirit of transparency, we're also going to hop into the chart, going through every signal we called out for the month so that we could see when and where these trades were called, but more importantly, witness the accuracy and value of the signals provided. If you enjoyed today's video or gained any value, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. You can also reach me more directly via email or Telegram. You can access all my official contact information down below in the video description. And if you like what you see and you want to learn more about our signal and trade alert services, you can visit our website down below. With that said, let's review the results. All right, folks, so here we go for the month of September 2025. As you can see, I like to break everything down week by week. It kind of makes things easier in terms of listing all of our trades, wins, losses, but also calculating our win rates from a weekly and then an overall monthly basis. From the first week of September, from the 2nd to the 5th, a slow but profitable week, winning 11 out of 12 trades, resulting in a 91.6% win rate, delivering over 1,500 pips in profit. Second week, we won 17 out of 19 trades, so it's an 89.47% win rate with over 2,100 pips in profit. Third week, a little bit slower from the prior, delivering only 700 pips in profit, but nevertheless still staying on top of our performance, winning 13 out of 15 trades at an 86% win rate. But on the final week, we ended the month with a bang, delivering a 95% win rate, winning 20 out of 21 trades and over 2,900 pips in profit. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the results in trades that you see here and the ones that we're going to go through as we jump into the charts, these are my personal trades that I call out that do not include the trades that you also get access to from our partners. So that's actually one of the many benefits we provide. In addition to my signals, you also get access to our partner signals as well, alongside with many other benefits from live sessions, education, much, much more. So again, if you want to learn more about that, visit our website down below. But as you can see from these results, we delivered over 7,900 pips in profit. We did have about 6 losses here. So first week, we lost 1 trade. Second and third week, we lost 2 trades each, so another 4. And then on the last week, we only lost 1 trade. So in total, we lost 6 trades for the entire month, giving us a total profit gain of 7,300 pips at a 90.7% win rate. Now, for those of you who are new to the concept of pips and how that translates in terms of a dollar value on your trading account, if you're trading at a small lot size of 0.01, 0.01 is equivalent to 10 cents per pip. So multiply that by the results delivered, that's over $730. Again, that's just for people who are trading with small accounts or just choosing to trade on the smallest lot size available. But take that up a step further. At a 0.05 lot size, that's 50 cents per pip, which is equivalent to over $3,600. 0.10 lot size, that's $1 per pip. So multiply that by 7,300 pips for the month. That's over 7,000. And for those of you trading with larger accounts, prop firms trading at a standard 1 lot, that's $10 per pip. So multiply that by 7,300. That's an equivalent of 73,000 for the month. And again, folks, this is all by following, copying, and pasting these trades that we deliver onto your broker. Again, folks, these results are just based off of my own trades that I personally deliver. This does not include the trades that you will also receive from our partners in addition as a member. So again, if you want to learn more about that, visit our website down below. But now, let's hop into the chart and review the trades that we called out. And we're going to go through every trade. And that way you can see the value and the accuracy from our trades. Let's jump in. All right, so starting off the month of September, actually on the 1st was a bank holiday, so we didn't do any trading. So our first official trading day of the month was September 2nd, starting off the day with a couple of sells at 34.82 and 34.92. Here are those 2 entries. First one, take profit 1 was hit for 50 pips. Second trade, take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 100 pips. Then we did a sell at 35.08. Here's that entry. But then later on, because of the consolidation and price action, I announced that everyone should play this one safe and trail in their stop loss to break even or into profit to remove risk from this trade, which as you can see was a smart decision because after some consolidation, price went up, so we avoided the loss. Moving on to the next day on September 3rd, we started off the day day with a couple of buys and one sell. So we had a buy here at 35.33. Here's that entry, which, as you can see, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 220 pips. In the midst of this buy, we also called out a scalp sell at 35.50. Here's that entry where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 90 pips. As price rose, we called out another buy at 35.50. Here's that entry, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 200 pips. And then on the 4th, we did a cluster of trades here, starting off the day with a buy at 35.42. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 230 pips. Now, in the midst of this buy, we also did a scalp sell, as you can see here, for 35.40. Here's that entry. A lot of consolidation and wick rejections, so we were able to capitalize a minor gain of 30 pips for take profit 1. But as price progressed, we called out another buy at 35.43, so very close to our first buy of the day at 35.42. Here's that entry at 35.43. where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for an additional 220 pips. Then we did a sell at 35.43. Here's that entry, which didn't work out, resulting in our first loss for the month, but not before calling out one more buy for the day, a buy at 35.48. Here's that entry, which if I zoom out here, you can see take profits 1 through 5 were hit. Like if I just scroll over here, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for a total of 230 pips. On the following day, on the 5th, this was a Friday, which is also MFP day. So I announced that we were going to do a high risk trade setup for a buy at 35.50, which as you can see was a great entry. So again, our buy entry was at 35.50. Here's our point of entry right here, where as you can see, as a result of the MFP, price shot up, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 250 pips. Here's a quick update of our trade. Congratulating everyone who did take the trade, but also pointing out that this is a great example why most of the time we do not trade the NFP because the volatility is wild. But I took the chance due to fundamental market data, which paid off very well. Now, on the following Monday, on the 7th, starting off the day with a sell at 35.90. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 120 pips, which in my time is actually a Sunday night when markets first open. I don't typically trade or call out trades on a Sunday night, but I like the setup, so I called it anyway, which paid off. So as you can see, here's our entry where take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 120 pips. Then on Monday, the 8th, we called out a buy at 36.13. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 5 were eventually hit for 220 pips. In the midst of this buy, we called a scalp sell at 36.25. Here's that entry where take profit 1 was hit for a minor 50 pip gain. As price progressed, we called out another buy at 36.36. Here's that entry where, as you can see, bit of consolidation, but eventually price hit all take profits 1 through 5 for 210 pips. And while this trade was active, we also called out for a scalp sell at 36.35, which paid out for a small gain of 70 pips for take profits 1 and 2. On the following day, posted some updates on those trades that we called out the day prior, and then we started off the day with a buy at 36.50. Here's that entry where, as you can see, based off of this massive impulse move and the spike, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 250 pips. Now, in the midst of this buy, we attempted a scalp sell at 36.45. Here's that entry, which as you can see, didn't work out well, resulting in a loss. So then as price rose up higher, pushing our first trade into deeper profit, that is when we called out another sell at 36.60. Here's that entry where after the drop, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for an additional 200 pips. Now, as price was dropping, we also called out another sell at 36.55. Didn't work out so well, resulting in a loss. But then we made up for it with a sell at 36.38 after price retested this lower level of support. So as price came up, we called up for a sell here. Price went into a little bit of drawdown before heading back down, resulting in take profits 1 through 4 for an additional 200 pips. Now, on the 10th, we only did one trade. I believe I was out for most of the day, so I could only call out a trade in the early evening. So we did a sell at 36.41. Here's that entry where, as you can see, beautiful trade where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 230 pips. Then on September 11th, we started off the day with a couple of sells. So we did a sell at 36.18 and 36.24. So here's that first entry and here's that second entry. So let me just zoom in here a little bit, folks, so that way you can get a better view. So again, here's the first entry. And here's the second entry right here, okay? First trade, take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 60 pips. Second trade, take profits 1 through 3 were hit for an additional 120 pips. After we got the spike down, we saw that price was testing a level of support. So as price came up to this level, we then took advantage of this area of resistance, calling out for another sell at 36.4. at 36.42. Here's that entry in the midst of this spike, which as you can see, beautiful entry where price came back down, hidden, take profits 1 through 5 for an additional 220 pips. Now, as price came down to these lower levels, we attempted another sell here at 26.24. So this is that signal right over here, guys. This is our entry where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 50 pips. And then we attempted another sell at 36.30. Here's that entry for a small gain. Take profit 1 was hit for 30 pips. Then on the 12th, let's zoom over here. So on the 12th, we start off the day with a buy at 36.49. Here's our entry in the midst of this way, expecting price to go higher, but obviously it didn't. So we got a small gain here of take profit 1 for 30 pips. And then we did a sell at 36.41. Here's that entry, take profit 1 was hit for 50 pips. So as price fluctuated, we got a better picture of the price action, the overall structure. So we took advantage of another sell at 36.50. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 200 pips. Great entry right there with minimal drawdown. Then on the 15th, next day, we did a sell at 36.46. Here's that entry. Take profits 1 through 3 were hit for a nice chunk of 100 pips. And then the following sells, right, as price was coming up, it was hitting prior levels of resistance here and here. So we did a sell at 36.58 and 36.78. So here are those two sell entries. But again, based on the price action and monitoring the trades, we announced to trail the stop loss at break even to remove risk from the trade on the first. And then again, same instructions for the second sell to trail the stop loss at break even to remove risk. Great call, because on both of these entries, if we had held on to these trades, these would have resulted into losses. But because we were mindful of our risk management and of course mindful of the price action, we avoided these two losses where we didn't make any money, but we also didn't lose any money either. Then on the 16th, we had a buy at 36.97. Here's that entry, which resulted in a loss. Then we did a buy at 36.90. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 130 pips. Now, as price came up, hit take profits 1 through 3, and then retraced to lower levels, testing our support. So we called out another buy at 36.87. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 4 were hit for 170 pips. And then as price came down again, we called out for a sell. Where is it? Here it is. A sell at 36.86. Here's that entry where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 90 pips. Now, as price progressed, we did call out another buy in this region. Didn't work out, which resulted in a loss. And then on the following day, on the 17th, we start off the day with a sell at 36.69. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 3 were hit for an additional 100 pips. Then we called out another sell at 36.74. Here's that entry, which, as you can see, I wasn't liking the price action, so I announced everyone to play this one safe, trail their stop loss at break even to remove risk. Good call, because as price rose, we avoided that loss, and then we called out another sell at 36.83, where we got a minor gain of 50 pips for take profit 1. Then later on that afternoon, we called out for a buy at 36.65. Here's that entry. Take profit 1 was hit for 60 pips. And then on the following day, we started off the day with a couple of buys. A buy here at, what is this? 36.65. Here's that entry. 36.54. Here's that entry. So a couple of minor gains here. Take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 80 pips on the first. Take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 60 pips on the second. Then as price came down to lower levels, we called out for a sell. And this was at 36.40, where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 60 pips. All right. And then on the following day, we called out another buy at 36.56, which resulted in a loss. Then we did a sell here at 36.51. Here's our entry. Take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 80 pips. Then after bouncing off of our level of support, reevaluating our analysis, we called out for a buy at 36.59. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 230 pips. Then on the 22nd, it looks like we only called out one trade, so must have been another busy day. Calling out a sell at 37.23. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 120 pips. And then on the following day, which was a Tuesday, we called out a series of buys. A buy at 37.82, a buy at 37.74, a buy at 37.70, and a buy at 37.59. So first entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry. And as you can see, based off of the updates and the price action on the charts, take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 80 pips on the first trade, 100 pips for take profits 1 through 3 on the second trade, 150 pips for take profits 1 through 4 on the third trade, and take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 230 pips on the fourth trade. Next day, a couple more buys, a buy at 37.63. Here's that entry, and a buy at 37.55. Here's that entry. So take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 110 10 pips on the first, and a minor gain of 30 pips for take profit 1 on the second. On the 25th, we did a buy at 37.56 and then a sell followed by a sell at 37.52. So here's the buy entry at 37.56 and the sell at 37.52. So a small gain of 30 pips for take profit 1 on the buy, but then we took advantage of the change of structure where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 240 pips on the sell. Then as price came up, price came up, retested this prior level of support. We then called out another sell here at 37.42, which as you can see, price dropped down, hitting take profits 1 through 4 for 180 pips. Then on the 26th, we did a sell at 37.47. Here's that entry, but as price was constantly going in drawdown and also fluctuating at entry, I called everyone to play this one safe, trail their stop loss at break even to remove risk. A good call because shortly after that, we had a massive spike to the upside. But before the spike, we took advantage of a buy at 37.48. Here's that entry, which as you can see, a few minutes later, price shot up, hitting take profits 1 through 5 for 320 pips. Now, on the 28th, which was a Friday, we didn't do any trading because sometimes Fridays could be a bit tricky. So we ended up posting a quick update on all the trades we called out for the week, solidifying yet another profitable week in the books, and then starting off the following Monday, which was the 29th, with a sell at 38.22. Here's that entry. Take profits 1 through 4 were hit for 150 pips. Then as price dropped down to this lower level, we then called out a buy at 38.16. Here's that entry where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 250 pips. Now, as price rose up in the midst of this buy, we also attempted a sell at 38.25. Here's that entry where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 70 pips. But then on the 30th, the last day of the month, we started off the day with a couple of buys and then ended it with a sell. So we had a buy at 37.97 and 38.14. Here's our first entry at 37.97 and our second buy entry at 38.14. Beautiful entries where take profits 1 through 6 were hit for both for 380 pips on the first and 280 pips on the second. Then we did a sell here at 38.62 for a small gain of 30 pips and take profit 1s. So there you have it, folks. Those are the trades that I personally called out for the month of September, delivering 7,300 pips in profit at a 90.7% win rate for the month. We conduct the analysis and provide you with the trade alerts and signals. All you have to do is copy those trades onto your broker and collect the profits. Don't forget, in addition to accessing my signals, you also get access to our partner signals as well, alongside with many other benefits to elevate your trading. If you want to learn more, you can click the link down below or visit our website, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside of our VIP. Take care.